All right, hey everybody, how we doing? Derek with Blue Sky Homes and Land. Today I am sitting down with Lisa Bloomquist with Homesfund, and we're going to be talking about down payment assistance. So Lisa, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about how long you've been doing this, that would be really awesome.
Sure. So, like Derek said, my name is Lisa Bloomquist. I am the Executive Director of Homesfund, and Homesfund is a nonprofit organization based in Durango that serves the entire 5 counties of Region 9. So that includes Montezuma County, La Plata, Archuleta, San Juan County, Colorado, not San Juan County, New Mexico or Utah, the one in Colorado that has Silverton in it.
That one can be a little confusing.
And Dolores County. So all of the programs that I'm going to talk about cover all of those counties in Southwest Colorado. So the region is, we've got mountains, we've got deserts, we've got agricultural land, and it is a rural community of about 100,000 people.
Perfect. So down payment assistance sounds easy enough.
Sure.
Like what is it exactly, and does it qualify for things beyond just a typical residential home? Can I qualify for down payment assistance if I want to, say, buy a hobby farm?
So let me kind of back up a teensy bit.
Yes.
and give you kind of more of an overview of what Homesfund does. So Homesfund provides homebuyer education,
Okay.
housing counseling, and we call it mortgage assistance, but when I say mortgage assistance and down payment assistance, those terms are fairly interchangeable, at least for me. Sometimes they can mean slightly different things, but for the sake of what we're doing, I use those terms somewhat interchangeably. So really first steps for people who want to get any sort of mortgage assistance or down payment assistance is to go through our homebuyer education course. So we have homebuyer education that's both in person, and we also have an online option. But we really encourage people to go to the in-person class. Like with COVID stuff, things can be a little bit up in the air. Yeah. But knock on wood, for right now, it looks like we're going to be
okay.
Yeah. For right now, it looks like we're going to be offering in-person homebuyer education classes every other month in Cortez.
Okay.
And the opposite months in Archuleta County up in Pagosa Springs.
Oh, perfect.
And then also once a month in La Plata County,
awesome.
up at Fort Lewis College. And that course really gives people a great overview of the home buying process.
Yeah,
it really helps them to be prepared.
It's quite daunting.
Yeah, it really is.
Holy cow. And is this something, so obviously you said that you want them to go through it. Is it a requirement?
So it is a requirement for our programs, and it's also a requirement for a lot of CHFA mortgages, or for actually all of the CHFA mortgages. Okay. So awesome. CHFA is Colorado Housing and Finance Authority, and a lot of times people who need down payment assistance can get a CHFA mortgage, and CHFA has a down payment assistance program with a lot of their loans, and then we can also stack our programs with the CHFA down payment assistance programs. So yes, it is required. We're in this kind of limbo period where we'll take both the in-person homebuyer education class certificate or the online class certificate. And by the way, to access the online course, go to our website. That's www.homesfund.org. That's HOMESFUND.org. So homes is plural, fund is singular.
Perfect.
Yeah. So but the in-person classes are really much more customized, and you could ask questions kind of real time. And
it's not just scrolling through a couple of bullet points.
Right. And don't get me wrong, the online homebuyer education course is really good. Yeah. It's quite good. It's not something that you can just kind of like click. Okay, yeah, done. Give me my certificate. Like It's actually quite in depth. But it's not as interactive. Yeah. Because how can it be?
I know, right? Yeah. We're just sitting behind a computer.
It's just impossible for it to be as interactive as an in-person class. Awesome. So we really recommend that people go to the in-person classes, and then if someone wants to get housing counseling, or if they want to go through and get the mortgage assistance, down payment assistance, awesome. Then they need to come in and do housing counseling after that. So
yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about housing, because I hear counseling, and I'm a typical person that hears the word counseling, and I immediately go, oh no. And so housing counseling, how does that work? Are we talking about like going over people's budgets and purchasing what they can afford? Because it's always my goal for my clients not to be house broke. Sure. I hate for them to buy something at the maximum end of their budget and then not be able to really enjoy the reason why we move here.
Right.
And is that really more what the house counseling is?
Yeah. So housing counseling is a one-on-one, or like kind of a family on one with our housing counselors. Mm-hmm. Look at housing affordability. So we do take a look at people's budgets. We look at their income, their assets, their history of housing payments, really everything that a lender is going to look at to determine their readiness for home ownership. Okay. So sometimes we go through our housing counseling with people and they're like, well, it turns out I'm not ready for home ownership. And that's a success. Well, yeah. Honestly, mm-hmm. like that's a great result, because we want people to be informed consumers. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we say like, okay, well, you're not quite ready yet, but here's the path. Yeah. This is what it's going to take for you to be able to afford. Right now you can afford $110,000, but this is what it'll take for you to be able to afford a $210,000 purchase price, or whatever. Okay. And sometimes we're just like, oh yeah, you are ready for home ownership. You are good to go. Work with your realtor mm-hmm. and go out and find a house, get under contract, and then let us know, and we'll help you out with the down payment assistance. And it's also when we explore how the down payment assistance can really affect people's payments, and what it will do for them and their readiness for home ownership.
So we've talked about the steps we need to kind of get on track with down payment assistance. Sure. What does it look like after you've done your home buyer education, your home counseling, and now you're pretty much ready to go? Who are the people that typically qualify for home buyer assistance? And then what does the program look like after you have your down payment assistance in place?
Sure. So both the homebuyer education and the housing counseling are open to anyone, regardless of income. Okay. The down payment assistance, mortgage assistance, mm-hmm. homebuyer assistance, whatever words you want to use for it. People do need to be income qualified, so they need to be under certain income thresholds. Okay. And our income thresholds are household income, not just borrower income, it's household income. Okay, so we're counting all the income for all the people who are living in the household. Mm-hmm. And we can go up to 100% of the area median income. For most of our programs. And area median income varies by household size. These numbers are set by HUD, the Department mm-hmm. of Housing and Urban Development. Mm-hmm. And just to kind of give you, I don't want to get lost in the numbers and go over too many of these, but in La Plata County, for a family of 4, the maximum income is $87,700 a year. Okay. In Montezuma County, in Archuleta, Dolores, Montezuma, and San Juan counties, 100% of AMI for a family of 4 is $73,500. So a household income needs to be below those thresholds to qualify for our mortgage assistance. Cool. We have more money available to people mm-hmm. who are under 80% of area median income. So if people are lower income, then we have more money available. And the amount of money available within in La Plata County, it's up to for people under 80% of area median income, mm-hmm. which is slightly lower income limits. So under 70,000, 150 for a household of 4. Then we have $50,000 available in mortgage assistance. If for people up to that 87,700, we've got $35,000 available. And then within the city of Durango, we have an additional $25,000 available. So up to $75,000 for people who are purchasing in the city limits. And you're in Montezuma County.
Yeah, I live in Dolores. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fabulous. So Dolores, which is in Montezuma County, we've got $21,000.
Oh, nice. And I mean, that goes a long way. I mean, that really does a lot to take off, that section of your mortgage, and really makes an offer look that much more appealing to a potential seller.
Yep. Exactly. So really, the reason we kind of shift from calling it down payment assistance to calling it mortgage assistance is for exactly the reason that you just said, is that that it really is increasing people's purchasing power and decreasing the amount of their mortgage, therefore increasing affordability, rather than just covering the down payment. Right?
Awesome.
Right. So the program has helped get a lot of people into home ownership.
I don't doubt it.
And a really nice thing about the Homesfund programs. Just a little bit of an aside.
Please.
I've been working in affordable home ownership and working with down payment assistance programs since 2006.
Oh, so, awesome. Yeah, really long time.
It's been 15 years now. Oh my goodness. I don't know how that time flew.
I know, I hear
But I will tell you that the Homesfund programs are so much more generous than the programs that I saw in the Front Range.
Oh, okay.
So we provide more money with better terms than any of the programs that I saw in the Front Range. And not that those programs are bad. I'm just saying that we have a particularly good one.
This is better.
Down here. Yeah. And the terms on this is that people have the choice. They could either get a shared appreciation loan, which means that there's no interest.
Okay.
There are no payments.
Okay.
But what we lend to someone, we need to when they either sell or refinance, or if they're not living in the home, then we need to get paid back the principal plus a proportional share of the appreciation.
Okay.
So if the appreciation, is 10%, then we'll get 10% of then we'll get. If we put in 10% of the purchase price and the appreciation, I'm just going to pick a different number.
Yeah,
It's 15%. Then we would get 10% of that 15% appreciation.
I gotcha.
Goodness. I believe that was somewhat confusing, but it is just a proportional share of the appreciation. And what that number is exactly, it depends
on any number of things. The value of the home,
on the purchase price. It depends on the sale price, etc. So, and we go over those numbers with people when they're buying the home, and make it crystal clear. Like, okay, well,
this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. When you pay us off, you'll pay us the $21,000 plus 6% of the appreciation or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and so just not having those monthly payments, it's not adding to the monthly payment burden. And it really, rising tide raises all boats,
exactly.
right? Yes, we're making money, but so is the homeowner.
Yeah, the homeowner is.
They're realizing gain, realizing appreciation, gaining wealth in this process of
owning a home.
Of owning a home.
Which is the easiest way to start accruing wealth, from what I understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the key to the American dream.
Perfect.
Is this ability to gain wealth. And when people do pay us back, we kind of recycle that money into the community.
Awesome.
So we provide that money as additional down payment assistance and mortgage assistance for the next person.
Yeah, for the next person that's living here in the community and everything else like that.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Exactly. And we do have residency requirements.
Okay.
Like the homes do need to be occupied by the borrower.
Okay.
This is not an investor product.
Yeah.
This is not something that you can buy someplace, buy a place, rent it out. This is for people who are
living in the home.
living in the home and living in our community. We also have some requirements that people either be part of our workforce, so they either need to be working a full-time job for at least 32 hours a week, or they need to have been in the community for at least a year.
Okay, so a lot of people that we're seeing as bigger cities disperse and come out and they're working remotely might not typically qualify for this unless somebody in the household might be working a full-time job in the area?
So there's a little bit of wiggle.
Okay.
Like there's some gray area there. Like I hate to say that there's some gray area that we need to really tighten up our policies on.
Yeah.
You know, because if someone is working, you know, if they're working at a job that's in Silicon Valley, but they're living here, you know, is that person a member of our workforce? Like,
yeah.
You know, we're kind of facing this new world along with everyone.
It's a big challenge, I can imagine.
So where we don't have super solid P&Ps. Policies and procedures about that, but where I do imagine it will come down is that people need to have either be working at a local, you know, employer, part of our workforce, or just have been here for a year. Okay. So, you know, if their employer is sticking with Silicon Valley, you know, if they've been here for a year, then they can qualify. Okay. But we don't want people to be just moving here. You know, and kind of taking advantage of these programs that are intended for people who are members of our workforce, you know, for them to kind of just come here. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard, and we're having to adjust to the world.
Well, and as somebody that cares a lot about local communities and local dollars, I really appreciate you guys trying to make sure that money stays in the community and goes to help out people that we want to see, you know, move into homes out here. And so, I mean, not to say that we don't want those Silicon Valley dollars, but you know,
everything has its pros and cons, right? Yeah. Right, and really, these programs, you know, our local governments, our taxpayers invested some money into these programs, and which, now that I mention that, the vast majority of our money actually comes from the state. Okay. And comes from state and federal sources. Awesome. But we do have some support from our local governments and local taxpayers, and those local governments and local taxpayers want the money to be going toward people who are also part of our local workforce. Awesome. So that really makes a difference. But I know I'm kind of babbling a little
please.
Bit,
like I said, I really enjoy the wonky answers because I feel like we get a lot of information that we wouldn't get otherwise. And I feel like a lot of people just don't know the right questions to ask, because my next question really was going to be, what am I forgetting to ask? As a person who's never had any sort of, I've been fortunate enough in my life to not have needed mortgage assistance. Sure. I got in on an FHA loan for my first home and just kind of scraped in, and my realtor was just great, and my lender was great enough to just get us in with $2,000 down. It was super great. But I personally, like I said, I really enjoy the amount of knowledge that you're putting out right now, and so don't feel bad. I think it's great.
Yeah, we're good. So I did want to get back to your question about what types of homes.
Okay. Yes, please.
We can do this program on, and really the homes that people purchase, it needs to be a home, first of all. You know, like this isn't a program for land loans or construction loans. That just doesn't fit within our box.
So pre-built, but like a home, stick built.
Stick built is great. Manufactured is good too. If it's financeable through Fannie, Freddie, FHA, USDA, whatever, then we can go behind it as with our down payment assistance program. Okay. But we also have a program where a difficult to finance manufactured home, let's say one that's been moved before, something like that, so it's not financeable with a traditional mortgage. We actually have a first mortgage program where we can help, where we can provide financing.
That is awesome, actually.
for manufactured homes.
That's awesome.
That are difficult to finance.
Yeah, people run into that a lot out here.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. And so really, if you have clients and customers who are looking for that,
awesome.
we would be, please give us a call. And I think that's something where it's a newer program, and our momentum is kind of building with that.
Nice.
But we can certainly do townhomes and condos.
Mm-hmm.
The home needs to be owner occupied. It needs to be your primary residence. We're
Mm-hmm.
not financing second homes.
Good.
We're not financing investment properties. That these programs are to get people in the door, so that they can own their home.
That's awesome. And I think that's great. I think it's one of the most important things we could be doing as a community to help some of our citizens and stuff like that. So Jen, it's probably one of the biggest reasons I got into real estate is I just remember how much being able to purchase my first home changed my life.
That's great.
And the fact that you guys are doing something to help people who might not necessarily have that upper level income tier, I think is absolutely fantastic. So I genuinely appreciate the work that you're doing. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to your audience. And if they have any questions, our website, like I said, it's homesfund.org, and our phone number is 970-259-1418. And my name is Lisa Bloomquist, but we have a small staff. Anyone can help you out.
Well, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me today.
Yeah, you bet.
And I look forward to maybe sending a few people your way. And in the future, just continue, maybe doing another one of these again.
Yeah,
so,
happy to. Yeah.
All right. Well, fantastic.
Fabulous. Thank you.